festive DIY that's going to make your house the sweetest on the block, without question, is Maria, the sweetest girl we know.
Oh, Cameron, you could stay.
Okay.
Stop, go on.
You know,
okay,
I couldn't resist.
I think everybody should do their due diligence and decorate their houses this year. Everybody's in their cars looking at Christmas lights, and I'm telling you, it will just literally light up your night if you do this. And I have a great DIY that's inexpensive, really creative, and you can make your house look like you put lots of effort into it.
You're talking to the right guy. Like,
Yeah,
you know
I do
this.
know
I'm
that,
all about
obviously.
this, and I love that you're really kind of sort of accentuating it, and you're doing it in a way that is, like you say, pretty easy and very affordable, and it's using. Tell me about the plastic tubes. Like, where do we get these guys? Because this is how it all starts.
Yeah, you can get these online. These are actually plastic food tubes. I sort of envision this being filled with cookies, but that's where my mind goes. But this is something that you can find online, and you can buy them in bulk. But also, you can look for other shapes too. So, for instance, if you want to do like the circle peppermints or something of that nature, that could be really fun as well. But that's what it is.
Okay,
These
boom,
tubes.
just like that. Now, we've got to kind of create that kind of candy cane, that peppermint look, and you're shaking the spray can there. You want to make it translucent. This is obviously transparent, but you want to kind of create that sort of opaque nature.
Yes, so we are creating our little peppermints because we want it to look really sweet and have that sort of gingerbread type of feel. So enter spray paint. The thing about this is you don't want to spray paint the outside because we are putting these outside, and we have some other additions that we're going to put on that could weather it away.
Okay.
So I'm taking some spray paint, and all I'm doing then is actually spraying the inside.
Okay,
So
I'm standing back.
you are. So what you're going to do, and granted,
And you got a little on
put
your
this
hand.
on. Well, this, yeah, because what I would actually do is put this down, and I would actually spray it, and then give it some time and spray it.
Oh, that's
but then so
actually
you
kinda
can
cool.
see, you go in there and just do that. And
Kind of frosting it from the inside. That's all.
yeah, and so there's you can see it's going to keep it nice and glossy on the outside as well. And now we have a surface we can work on without it being a big deal.
That's actually pretty impressive. Okay, great. Now we're going to move on to the stripes that make our candy cane or a peppermint, whatever you want to call it. And what I was thinking when I saw this is, like, you're going to put the tape on the outside. I know we're going to put lights inside. How are you going to apply the tape on the outside so you're not blocking all the lights? You're still letting the lights kind of shine through. This made me very happy.
Yeah, Cameron loves this. Okay, so this is tail light tape.
Tail light from your
so
car.
The reason for the tail light tape, you can see, obviously, what's the most obvious thing? It's red, so it's going to be our peppermint type of feel. But also, the light is going to be able to shine through because we are adding lights to these because we want it to light up the night.
Of course.
And the funny thing is, like, this is super easy to work with. It almost reminds me of like a washi tape. But the light will come through, and so this also is another reason why the spray paint goes on the inside, is because a lot of times, so I'm gonna start at like a 45-degree angle, but look let's say I wanted to, I messed it up, I'm gonna take it off, I'm gonna do you're not gonna have to pull off spray paint.
Got you.
So if you had painted the outside, you lose the ability to readjust this, and believe me, you will most likely have to readjust this.
That's a great tip.
Except for Cameron just powered through that whole thing.
Well, I did. I mean, you know, like, I was excited about it. This is incredible. If you guys, I hope you haven't, but if you ever had to repair a taillight, this is the tape that
and
you'd use.
because it goes on a taillight, it can weather the elements too. So this is something we want to put outside. So let's say you're in Michigan, like where I grew up, you would be able to put this outside and not worry about weathering that.
And then you've got, it comes in different thicknesses too, so you can add it. I like what you've done here with the thick and then the thin version of that as well.
Exactly. So the thin just gives it some character. And if you can't find the thin one, you could actually use a washi tape or an electrical tape or something of that nature as well.
Okay,
And
beautiful.
so I'm just going to finish doing that.
You should.
And as you can see, we have that here.
Should we talk about the lights, or do you want to go on to the thin strip first?
Oh no, we can talk about the lights. So I feel as though I need to take a moment here. I blew Cameron's brain when I told him about these lights.
I'm like the lighting guy. I have to admit, and I did not know this.
When we had these up before they were lit, he's like, oh, you know, it'd be really great if the lights were just going through them, or you didn't have to go turn them on and off every night. You don't have to. You can actually get twinkle lights that are battery powered with timers on them. All of my lights this year outside are battery powered with timers.
Built-in timers in the battery pack. It doesn't have to be hardwired at all. I'm a hardwired guy, but this is pretty impressive.
Shocker. Okay, so this actually just goes in. That's all you need to do.
Boom,
and I would stretch them out a little bit so that they fill the whole space that you have here.
Okay.
So I would do that.
Exactly. You don't want it to be just like one clump in there, so you try to you know, make sure you spread it out a little bit.
And truthfully, you could, and that's the beauty of the wired lights like this, is that you can actually space them out and manipulate them in a way. And if you did have any issues with them staying where you wanted, you could grab some, just any kind of a clear tape I would actually put on the inside, and you could keep them in different spaces if they are not staying up the way you want them.
Beautiful. Now, I also want to talk about how you've created a way to put it onto your garland outside or whatever it is that you're attaching them to.
Absolutely.
Great piece of wire with a little bit of E6000.
Yeah, so this is just an industrial strength glue. And so what you can see here, I have this on just like that, Cam. Thank you for adding our
Yeah, you go ahead, you show everybody.
So I put this on and then I would use a 20 gauge wire. So I have the 20 gauge wire. It's a really great sort of like down the middle in terms of the gauge, because if you go with a gauge that's going to be too thick, then it's harder to manipulate when you tie it around. But if you have one that's too thin, then it's going to be too wobbly. So look at that. It's so much fun. And that's the thing. The wire is perfect. I would give this 24 hours to let it set. So Cameron had a question earlier about how you get it to stand up like this. I would put the glue on and then put the wire on and let it lean against something so that you let it dry, because you do want it to have the ability to hang like that.
It takes a second to dry. Maria, these are fantastic.
They're so fun.
I've learned something new about outdoor lighting and Christmas lights.
You're welcome, Cameron.
This is amazing. Full instructions. Head over to hallmarkchannel.com, everybody.